Disclaimer: the content provided in this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. While we discuss topics related to mental health advice, life wisdom, and alike, the opinions expressed are personal views of the hosts and do not constitute professional, legal, or medical advice. We make no representations or warranties about the accuracy or completeness of the information discussed. Any action you take based on the information in this podcast is strictly at your own risk, and we are not liable for any losses or damages in connection with its use. Additionally, this podcast may contain discussions around addictions, substances, which are intended for adult audiences. We do not endorse any illegal activities. Please consult your local laws before engaging in any actions related to this content. By listening to this podcast, you agree that you are over the age of 18 or the age of majority in your jurisdiction and understand the terms of this disclaimer.
Welcome to the Balancing Forces podcast, where two opposites collide in the best way possible. One brings the fire,
the other keeps it chill.
But together we share life's lessons, hard-earned wisdom,
advice you can actually use.
Whether you need a fresh perspective or just a laugh, we're here to elevate your mind. So buckle up, because things are about to get real and
really funny.
Are you ready to level up your astrology game? Join the Alchemist Laboratory by Solar Systems. For just $33 a month, you get access to 10+ courses, a resource library, manifestation secrets, live Q&As, and so much more. Over $2,300 in value. Transform your understanding of astrology and unlock hidden knowledge. Sign up now through the school app and follow Solar Systems on TikTok and Instagram.
Chapter 32. You'll know. My father tells the story of when he was a student in his mid-20s, still working his way through college and seminary, before eventually entering in the ministry and spending over 60 years as a Lutheran pastor in North Dakota, Texas, and Minnesota. He had one day in a back stairway coming up from the laundry room of the dormitory, met a beautiful young woman who, in his words, made my heart go pitter-patter. The same criterion he would offer to his 5 sons and daughter as a means for knowing when someone was in the ballpark. Then, over the course of a few years, as he got to know her better and better, he felt his love for this woman grow and deepen until one day, back on the large family farm in northern Minnesota, he asked his mother a fateful question. She was working in the traditional blue and white Swedish kitchen, preparing one of the incessant strings of big meals for the men at work in the fields. As he sat at the table and talked about the latest going-ons in his busy life, his mother, Walborg, listened. Paring knife in hand, she chopped, sliced, and skinned, apron around her waist, summer sun coming in the window over the sink. But the conversation and flurry of meal prep stopped cold when Leroy, whether in Swedish or English, asked what would be a fateful question. Mother, how do you know when the girl is the right one? Walborg, neither shocked nor caught off guard, as if she had seen it coming in her second of 4 sons, quietly stopped, set down her paring knife on the counter, and slowly, wiping her hands on her apron, turned to the eager young man, resting one hand on that same counter to steady her powerful farm-built frame. She paused to look into young Leroy's eyes. She had met the girl precipitating this question and was impressed by her rather severe work ethic and full fluency in her own role in making a farm work. Walberg liked her very much, but it was not in her belief system or her idea of motherhood to force the hand of any of her 5 children, especially on the very largest of life questions. Pausing, staring her son in the eye, in the most serious of voices, she almost inaudibly transferred words that would never leave my father and forever frame every one of his life decisions, well beyond this major one. Pulled back to her native tongue by the gravity of the moment, she firmly, quietly stated in Swedish, "Duvet." And with that, she silently turned, picked up the knife, and returned to the work of the day, knowing the conversation was done and the decision was now out of her hands, firmly planted where it belonged, in the boy, plunging him deep into thought. Her wisdom? Seemingly contrary to the words of pastors and parents alike, she delivered the most powerful words she had in her past to her son. You'll know. No longer content to tell her adult children what to do, but insisting they commune with their own inner voice at that deep spot where it meets the spirit of the universe, she pushed her son into that leap of faith realm. She insisted he learn life's greatest lessons. You must trust your own inner voice, your own intuition. It will tell you when the path is right, if you have the ears to hear. The words of that old Swedish woman resound down through the decades, speaking even now to you and me. The fretting and stewing we engage in, day in and day out, are quite unnecessary. For the absolute fact of the matter is, when you're in tune to your inner voice, when you have quieted the voices of fear and anxiety, there is no stewing required. You'll simply know. And if you don't know, it means you either have not stilled your life well enough to feel the creative pulse of the universe succinctly sending its message to what should be a receptive soul, quiet and ready, or, quite frankly, it is just not yet your time to know. It is not time and it is not right. You're being called to action in other areas. And no amount of trying to force the equation or force the resolution will bring any amount of clarity or the power that clarity brings. If it is your path, you'll know when it is time to know. If you don't truly know with the resolution of a clanging bell that this is your path, it is not your path, no matter how much you want it to be your path. Want the girl to be the one or want to have whatever the path seems to offer? Some call it intuition, some the voice of God, some call it gut instinct, some the voice of your own soul. But what is consistent in them all is that the experience of knowing, the experience of clarity. This is the formula for all of life, great and small. You'll know. Your sole job is to day in and day out, moment to moment, tune in with a quiet soul. It is to be so present, so rested, so at peace in your soul, even in the most harried of times, that you can feel the pulse of the universe in that moment speaking to you. Of course, to have the self control and the self in tuneness necessary to oscillate between dead stop, calm meditation, and 100 miles per hour attacking life with your hair on fire when called to act requires focusing on self knowledge, self trust, and self discipline. It means spending this life you've been given on more than just the acquisition of more crap, the longing for greater leisure and adventures, and the clinging and mad clinging to security. I know all of this sounds cockamamie to a whole lot of people, but it is the most profound and very, very real truth. I am capable of speaking in my 50 years of mining life for its deepest truths and 25 years of teaching and strengthening others to do likewise. The whole truth of the universe, particularly that which you need to know right now, is in that place of peace and receptiveness. Until you can throttle back to that place and sit in it without agitation, fear, or any overwhelming emotion, you are not ready, not there, and not likely to experience peace or lasting happiness anytime soon. There is no way you'll know what is you, your path, and the perfect decision for you until you shut your pie hole and start listening. We listen by first clearing out the voices that are not native to who we are, the voices that conflict and cloud our vessel, the voices that depress and drain our energy or push us to mad anxiety. You'll know, but only when you have the courage to stop listening to all that causes you to not know. That is the day life begins. That is the day you commence your relationship with your own self. Journaling recommendation 1. This may sound like an incredibly dumb question. However, if you were to be totally honest with yourself right now in your journaling, write out the answers to this question. What is the God's honest truth when I ask you, what do you know? I mean, truly know. Not what are you willing to admit, but what is your truth? Can you feel it yet? Let me put it this way. What is the truth that has been there all along that you have been avoiding, constantly second guessing, or simply not seeing because it was hiding in plain sight? 2. What is the great unanswered question of your life or your future? What is it that you do not have resolution to? 3. Is it possible that you know exactly what your truth is? Is it possible that you already know the answers to what you claim is the greatest unanswered question of your life? Is it possible that your problem is not that you don't know what your path is or truth is, but that you are terrified to act on it? 4. Living a truth or a new dream demands being judicious in to whom you reveal it to, much as a tiny shoot coming out of the ground needs to be protected from too much sun, too much rain, and not enough of both, and the constant threat of rabbits or a human shoe. In what ways do you need to be judicious in what you share about what you're being, saying, doing, having, wanting, believing, and becoming? Who might do your dreams and shoot harm? Can you be judicious in what you reveal to that person? 5. What's going on inside of you as you consider what you really know about your life and path? What do you feel as you consider those who might undermine your new paths and purposes?
How awesome is this? This is going to be the book we're going to be giving away. It is an autographed copy as well. Thanks for listening. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, share this out with your friends. At the end of the series, there will be a giveaway for a copy of your own book. Thank you.